This lesson is on reflecting over other lines other than the x and the y axis. On number 1 through 4, we're going to be reflecting the segment JK, but every time we're going to reflect it over the given line. So in number 1, we see that we're supposed to reflect JK over the line y equals x. Whenever you have that type of a reflection, what you're really going to do is you're going to take your x and your y, and then you're just going to actually switch them, change places. So if we start with J here, let's look at what J is at. J on the coordinate plane here is at -3, -1. So if we're going to flip-flop that in our reflection, we're just going to change the y and the x. So now we have -1, -3. If we take K, K is at -1, +3 on the coordinate plane. And when we are going to reflect it over this line, again, we're just going to switch the x and the y. So the K prime would be 3, -1. Now let's go ahead and plot both points. We have -1, -3. We're going to call that J prime. We have 3, -1, which is going to be called K prime, and we'll connect those dots. And just to kind of show you real fast, what we did is we reflected it over this line right here. So essentially, if we fold our paper in half, these two segments would actually line up. On number 2, same idea, except this time we're reflecting it over the line y equals -x. Well, anytime that happens, you take your x and your y, and not only do you switch them, but you're also going to do the opposite of whatever their value was. So let's go back and start with our J, which was at -3, -1. So we'll be flipping the x and the y, but we also want to do the opposite. So this is going to become my x, so we're going to do its opposite, which will give us a 1. This -3 will become my y, and we need to do its opposite, which is 3. For K, we're at the point -1, 3. And again, we want to flip-flop these. So 3 at K, we got to go opposite, becomes -3. -1 is going to move to the y, and it's going to be its opposite, which is 1. So let's go ahead and plot these 2 points. So we have 1, 3, and that's going to be my J prime. And then we have -3, 1, which is going to be my K prime. And then we'll connect these dots right here. And the idea behind this one is if you were graphing it over this line right here, the y equals -x line, you could see we could actually fold these segments and they would line up over that line. Let's look at number 3. With number 3, we're just going to be reflecting it over the line y equals 2. So it would help us if we actually wrote down, by just using a dotted line, where y equals 2 is at. And now you're just going to count. So if J is here, it's 1, 2, 3 units to the line, so keep going, 1, 2, 3, and that's where my J prime is going to be. K is 1 unit to this line, so we're going to go 1 more unit down, that's going to be K prime, and we'll connect these dots. We're not dealing with rules in this class related to when we reflect over the lines where y equals a number, x equals a number, so you don't have to worry about that. Number 4, x equals 1. So we want to plot the line x equals 1. So there we go with our dashed line. And again, we're going to count to this line. So K is 1, 2 units away. So keep going, 1, 2. That's going to be my K prime. J is 1, 2, 3, 4 units away. So we want to count 1, 2, 3, 4 units away. That's going to be my J prime. We'll connect these dots. And again, if we folded it on this line, the reflection line, we would see that these two figures would line up. On numbers 5 and 6, they're a little different. This time they're giving us the pre-image point, and then they're telling us a reflection has occurred, and we just need to figure out what the image point is. So if we look, we're reflecting this first point over y equals x. Well, remember when we have that, and you reflect it over y equals x, you're just going to flip the y and the x. So to find A, which we have at 3, -4, and we want to switch it to A prime, we just need to flip these numbers, which would be -4, 3. And then this would be my answer. In number 6, we're now going to reflect it over the line y equals -x. So remember, you're going to take your x and your y, and not only are we going to flip it, but we're also going to do the opposite of it. So if we started with B here at -2, 6, Then we're going to get b prime. We're going to flip the x and the y, and we're going to do their opposite. So this is going to become my x, and I'm going to do its opposite, which is negative 6. This is going to become my y, which I'm going to do its opposite, which is going to be 2. So here is where my b prime is going to be at.